Hey, what's up, everybody? You are tuned into this week's episode of Access Granted. Your boy, Mr. Antoine, is in the building. And as y'all can see, I got my hitter with me. Designated hitter with me. She always comes through in the clutch when I need her. Stacy Rose, what's going on, sis?
What's going on, big bro?
Not too much. Real quick, shout out to my sister Lenia Renee. She wasn't here last week because she was out celebrating her anniversary. This week, unfortunately, as a lot of people that I know, she's a little bit under the weather. And you know how back in the day when your mother told you if you can't go to school, you can't go outside?
That's
true. Her husband told her if you can't go to work today, you can't do the show. Nah, but man, shout out to my sister, man. My wife's been under the weather a little bit.
Everybody's been under the weather, man.
Shout out
Kaylin's
to
sick.
My first lady at Victorious Living Faith. She's been in the hospital since over the weekend, man. It's a lot going on, but
oh my goodness.
Yeah, everybody's good. We know, God got that. So
absolutely.
Everything's gonna be all right. What's going on with you, sis? What's been up?
Working, living my greatest life below the radar.
That's what it is.
And yeah, man, enjoying this whole being a media person. I'm enjoying this a lot. I am. I really am.
As you should. And I know you got some. I know that there's a lot going on in the backgrounds that you're not going to talk about, but
it's a whole lot of great things happening. I'm very, very excited. I can say my February lineup is amazing. I kind of took a mini hiatus for January just because the end of my 2020 was weirdo and very crazy. So it's like, let me kind of take some things off my plate because, I like to do a bunch of things. So I had to really take some things off my plate, set some things down, and realign my focus. So I'm ready.
I know that's right. And that's something that you never have to tell me. I know you're always ready. And I know that even when I don't hear from you and we don't talk and you don't inform me and stuff, I know you're always in the background mixing up some stuff. So you're one of the people that even though I stay on you because I love like what you do musically, I know I don't have to worry about you because I know it's always something.
That's coming too, so you can finally stop bothering me about it. That is coming. I am beyond excited about that. So
that wasn't a bother. It was just I just threw that out there to let you know that.
But you know how you do. Every chance you get, you just like, because we're waiting. I'm like, yes, I know you're waiting.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2023 now, so.
I know. Shame on me, but,
So look, real quick, man. Got some stuff, and when you watch my show, I don't like starting the show off with bad energy.
I know.
I feel like the bad energy kind of, messes up the beginning, but I definitely got a few things that I need to touch on. First of all, man, I want to give my thoughts and prayers out to the family of Tyree Nichols.
Definitely.
I'm not even going to get into that situation. I started to start this show and go all the way in on those 5 murderers. Honestly,
6.
It was 6.
Yeah.
Well, however many. 1 is too many.
Mm-hmm.
I've really started to start my show and go in on them. The one thing that I am going to say, we know the history.
Yeah.
White cops and black men. So when that happens, I'm not going to say that we're desensitized to it, but it's like, okay, another one.
Right.
So that's all black men.
It wasn't all. The sixth man was not black.
I haven't heard anything about a 6th man. So
yeah,
if it was one black man, if it was one black man, it was too much for me.
Facts.
That's just my whole point of the
Facts. And
situation,
then
bro.
one of them was the president of I can't remember the exact fraternity, so please forgive me if I butcher it, but I think it was Theta Bi, I think something like that. I'm sorry, I'm not into all of this stuff.
I hope he be.
But
I
yeah,
hope he be the president of Phi Beta. Don't drop the soap for the rest of
Phi
the day.
Beta something. Yeah, that part. I
Probably Phi
it's
Beta
oh
Phi. But at any
it's
rate, yeah, too much,
whew, yeah.
too much.
I really went back and forth a couple of times trying not to watch the video. I remember I was at my brother's, I think this was on Friday, and I was telling him, I was like, "Oh my god, they released the body camera footage." And he's like, "I don't wanna watch it, I don't watch it." I was like, "You know what? I'm not gonna watch it." I couldn't help it.
Yeah,
I could
I
not
didn't watch.
help it.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I've seen clips. I'm glad I haven't watched the whole thing. Don't want to watch the whole thing. Don't need to watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
4 or 5, second clips that I've seen, and to hear that brother calling out for his mom, that's too much, bro. That's disgusting, man. It's absolutely positively disgusting. And police departments all around the country, we need to do away with these task forces, man. We've seen this task force, the Scorpion, whatever that was called, task force. We've seen what happened here in Baltimore with the gun trace task force and all of the dirt that they was doing. We need to do away with all of that
With
nonsense,
all
man.
of it, yes.
Do away with all of it, bro. I don't understand the point of it. The hip hop police in New York, they up there still giving people, it's sad. But
It's crazy. It's like
thoughts and prayers out to your family, man. It's
yeah.
much. And that's all I'm gonna say about it. I'm gonna leave it because I swear, boy, I was about to come here.
And
I was gonna
really
spend
go
like 30
in.
minutes. I was gonna spend like 30 minutes going in, but I'm gonna leave that alone.
Right.
Also, thoughts and prayers out to Ricky Smiley and his family. Ricky Smiley lost his oldest son yesterday, Brandon. Who I got to like when they used to have the reality show, Ricky Smiley for real. When that used to come on, I used to watch that show faithfully. And Brandon was actually the only son I liked because I thought the younger dudes were pretty much knuckleheads. But
Definitely.
I can't imagine burying a child. I can't imagine how he's feeling and what he's going through right now. He's been on social media saying he's okay, but you're not
Mhm.
okay after you lose a child. I don't care what he says, man. So just thoughts and prayers out to them.
Mhm.
Um, and then also, man, I want to give my sincere condolences to my brother, comedian CJ Burney, from here in
Definitely.
Baltimore. He passed away yesterday. And as I posted on Facebook today, like CJ was one of the original members of the Baltimore Flavor Radio crew when we started back in 2014. And we had our little differences, and we ended up separating as far as the show is concerned. But I go to the Baltimore Comedy Factory a lot, and he either performs there or he works background stuff there a lot. So I've had a lot of chances, man, to chop it up with CJ over the years, and I'm
Yeah.
just glad that we were able to get rid of our little petty differences. You know what I'm saying? Because it was nothing serious. And it wasn't anything personal. It was more of a business thing. But we were able to resolve that, man, and we've been friends and cool with each other. And when I got the news this morning from a man DJ T Money, I was like, yo, that's crazy. Definitely. But when I went to CJ's page, I did see that he actually put a post on Facebook 6 days ago and said that he felt like something wasn't right, like he wasn't feeling good or whatever. So I'm not sure exactly the circumstances of what happened, man. But rest in peace to my man CJ Burney. He was a very funny dude. And really trying to, like, right around the time that we started Baltimore Flavor Radio, he was really trying to find his mark in comedy. I know he had a chance to perform in a contest where Whoopi Goldberg was one of the what do you call it?
The judges.
One of the judges, and he
Mhm.
actually won that contest and had a chance to go and perform on TV and all of that kind of stuff. He was really trying to do his thing, man. He was like a staple in the Baltimore community as far as comedy is concerned. And I know he used to coach youth football,
Mhm.
and I know he did a lot of stuff as far as giving back to the community, man. So rest in peace, brother CJ Burney, man.
Definitely.
That's tough. But enough of that, man. Look, this guy we got up here today, man. I've let it be known on many occasions that this is one of my favorite DJs. I actually gave this dude the title of the Prime Minister a couple of years ago, but now I got a new name for him because he's fresh out of Japan We just gonna call him Ichiban from now on, which means number one in Japan. My man Kasper Burnstein in the building. What's going on, bro?
Good. What's good? What's good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you. We hear you, man. What's going on with you, bro?
Oh, good. It's nice to be on the show with some access granted.
Glad to have
Um,
you.
it's been a long time, Tork. It's been a long time since we linked up like this.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Hey, I'm gonna start this off just like this, bro. How does a brother from Cherry Hill in the last 6 to 8 months touchdown in London and Japan, bro? What's going on in this world, man? Where you are now international cast. That's a good name right there. International cast. What's going on,
Well,
bro?
man, I like that. You know, um, 2022 was definitely a year where I decided to like. I mean, I always been grinding and doing my DJ thing and music thing, but 2022 was really a year where I decided to like really like put it down and try to do all that I could to build the Casper Bernstein brand, and reach out to people. Us Casper from Cherry Hill, plus I'm an Aquarius. We kind of like loners, um, stick to ourselves or whatever. So I kind of broke out of my shell, started networking more, polying more with people, and then things just started to come together. It's a beautiful thing when black people come together. It's a beautiful thing when people of color could come together.
Yeah.
You don't think about Asians, and us in the same pot.
Yeah,
Uh, we're both cultures of color, and we both come from very rich, historically profound cultures. Black people from Africa, and you got the Japanese culture, Chinese culture. Those are very big players in world history. Um, so when I was over there, it was really it was eye opening. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, I saw a lot of the videos that you were posting when you were touching down in the different cities, man. And I noticed the vibe in the various venues that you were, DJing in, man. It's like you never think, you know what I mean? But and actually that last video I think that you posted, which might have been your last night of actually DJing, bro, they were going in, bro. Like they
So
dance and everything. You know what I mean?
I did like 5 parties spread across 3 different cities. So I, to me, I call it like my mini little tour, my mini tour of Japan. So I did 2 official parties in Tokyo, one unofficial party. Then I did a party in what's called Kobe. Over here, we call it Kobe. I
Right.
know for me, it's not wrong. So I'm over there talking about Kobe. They don't know what I'm talking about. So then when I called it out for them, they was like, Kobe? I was like, oh yeah, now I'm the dumb American, right? But yeah, 3 parties in Tokyo, one in Kobe, and that last one was in Osaka.
Bro. How
So
was
I
the food?
they really, that Osaka party really had a lot of energy. Um, it's crazy. Well, I always knew that hip hop was big in Japan. It's
Hmm.
a yeah, it's a Caucasian cat here, excellent DJ named Stephen Flagg. Um, he does a party called 4 Hours of Funk. Him and another guy named Graham. I don't want to butcher his last name, but it's Hattke. Hattke. Um, they do a party here called 4 Hours of Funk. But Stephen Flagg, he's kind of like this brand ambassador for breakdancing. And he goes all around the world DJing at these breakdance battles. And if you go on his
Yes.
page, he be in Japan a lot. And them boys over there, they get busy with the popping and locking and the breakdancing. And
Yes.
I always knew that they was heavy on the hip hop side of things, but I didn't know they were so heavy on the house music side of things.
Yeah.
Like them, they over there, they know their music, they know their house DJs. Um, as you can see, they could dance their tails off. So yeah, it was really, really, and the crowd. What I loved about that energy over there, so there's a vibrant house scene here. And Twan, I guess we going back with T Money. I heard you mention him calling you earlier in King House Nation. But the house community here is, for all practical purposes, up in age. You know what I'm saying? Um, but it was just so fascinating to get over there and to just be all this young energy. This
Hmm.
energy. I got videos that I haven't even posted yet where they spinning on their head.
Oh
They
my
doing
gosh.
What?
and they doing backflip cartwheels. They taking it back to the breakdance days where they doing they do their little upright and their footwork, and then they do the spin on the back, and they come into the little poses. I was like, yes, get it, Johnny, get it. So yeah,
I
it
love it.
really brought an energy that as a DJ, if you could feed off of that, you could have a very symbiotic relationship, and y'all like give and take from each other. So it was dope. It was dope.
Mm. That's awesome. I listen to a lot of K-pop. So it's like here in Baltimore it's not a lot of people that will like openly say, "Oh, I've heard that song," or "I know this group," or something like that. But it's very interesting to hear someone from Trey Hill is like so, oh my god. Like I just discovered this group over in Japan. They're XG, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
girl group. It's seven of them. I think four of them rap and three of them sing, and
Mm,
they are absolutely amazing. You would not believe they range between the ages of 16 to 21, and they are amazing. Like amazing, down to, like you said, Casper, like the dancing and just watching them like incorporate dance moves from the 90s. I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's a whole different culture over there.
And you know what's crazy? You mentioned rapping, right?
Hmm.
So you'll meet somebody over there. They don't speak a lick of English, right? But they rap in English.
In English, I've seen it. Oh my gosh. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm like, oh my god.
Spitting, Twan, in English, but then they can't have a conversation with you in English though.
Nope.
so how did you manage to like how was the communication for you? Because I know that you probably don't go over there speaking a lick of their language, especially since you pronouncing Kobe as Kobe, and I would have been like Kobe Bryant. So how was the communication situation for you over there?
So there were two host DJs that brought me over there. Shout out to DJ Cali and DJ Harami. They reached out to me because they were just fans of the music. You know what I'm saying? They were fans of the music, and they would send me videos on Instagram of them playing my music at their various parties and stuff like that. And so when I went to London, Callie hit me up and was like, "Yo, when you coming to Japan?" And I was like, "When somebody invite me to Japan." He was like, "Say no more," and he put it together. So Callie and Harami, they do speak English. So when I got over there, they picked me up from the airport. They was kind of like my liaison. Whenever I encountered, language barriers or whatever have you. With that being said, if I wasn't with them, I didn't venture too far. Um, from my hotel and stuff like that. I tell you, it's crazy. So like when I was in London, right? Even though that's a foreign country, I didn't know my way around. I didn't care because I could always ask somebody for directions.
Mm.
So when I was in London, I would get ghost. I would just bounce. I'm all over the place, and I got lost a couple of times, but I was always able to find my way back because I could always hit somebody up, be like, "How you get here?" Or just jump in a cab
Right.
and give them the card to my hotel, like, take me back here. Over in Japan, as you can probably imagine, that same scenario wouldn't have been that easy. Um,
Wow.
yeah, so I did venture off a little bit by myself. Um, I was in Tokyo and I went to Harajuku, um, which only reason I even knew what that was because of Nicki Minaj. When Nicki Minaj talked about Harajuku
Yeah.
Barbie and all that type stuff. And that just happened to be one train stop away from where my hotel was.
Wow.
Um, so I hopped on the train, went there, and Twan, you probably saw the videos and stuff like that. Walked around, took some video, took in that whole scene there, and I was able to get back and forth because I knew it was only one train stop away.
Right.
Uh, Other than that, I wasn't trying to venture too far without having somebody with me that spoke English.
That Baltimore instinct kicks in when you're in foreign territory. You gotta
Yeah,
make sure you try to keep the surroundings as familiar as possible, and always got the head on the swivel. I definitely understand that. How did the London situation come about for you?
well, London, that was a quantized thing. So,
Shout out Tommy Davis.
2022 was Quantized's 10-year anniversary. Um, so Quantize, the label, Spin, Tommy, they was having various parties in different locations. They had one here in Baltimore. Um, I think they had one on the West Coast. I'm not sure if that actually kicked off. I know they were supposed to. And then they had one in London. Um, so basically, the whole Quantized family, at least whoever wanted to go, um, went out there to London. They had a few different parties, some of them little. Then they had a big party at one of the historically large uh, dance clubs in London. I don't know what the name of it was. I can't remember the name of that club now. But anyway, that's how that popped off. That was the thing where Spen and Tommy invited me over. Um, and everything was kind of curated by Quantized Recordings and them celebrating their 10-year anniversary of putting out hit music on the house music scene.
See what we got to look forward to, Stacy.
I know. I'm just like, I'm so
We going to London, and
going to London.
Like I said, I'm grounding. I got my head to the ground, just trying to make moves. I'm going back to Japan either this summer or in the early fall. They want me to come back and we're going to hit like some different cities. Um, I got something in the mix where I might be going to Brazil, but that's still in the
Nice.
early stages though. Uh, I was supposed to have a party in the Virgin Islands, but they already hit me up. That kind of fell through. I don't know what happened there, but they said that's not going to happen. But yeah, I'm trying to make some things happen. I got new music coming out. Um, I just did a remix for a group called Slick Control, called Lost and Faded. Well, actually, me and Tommy, as we did it as Sync Mafia, um, that went to number 3 on the charts. I can't crack that number 3. I don't know what it is. It won't let me go to number 1, and they'll let me sit at number 3 for like 2 weeks. And like other records will come up and pass me and go to number. They will not let me get to number 1. But I'm gonna get there though. But yeah, that was just recently. Um, Me and Ed Ramsey got something coming out called Dance World. I'm really excited about that. That's currently right now number 10 on the pre-order. So that don't really drop for another week, but the pre-order was looking good. Um, so we'll see what that do. I got some other big joints coming up. I got something coming up, and it's so big, and I can't even say the name. But I will tell you, it's a female. She's from the DMV, and she's house music royal. If you
Okay, I'm
know
gonna be
anything,
quiet. I'm gonna be quiet.
if you know anything about house music
I'm gonna be
and
quiet because I know.
here in the DMV area, you know who I'm talking about. But that record is already done. It's been done. I'm just waiting on
She is
Quan
fire
to
though.
come out with it. And that same person has an album coming out, and Tommy just hit me up and said that do I want to be a part of it? So of course I want to be a part of that. But I ain't
Right.
gonna say the name. But if you know anything about house music and the history of it, and who from DMV really put a stamp on house music, then you know who I'm talking about. And I would say the name, but if I say the name, I know it's Spin is listening or somebody from Quantize listening. They gonna tell them, and then I'm gonna get a phone call. So I get
I think
enough.
it's best you just keep that zipped up. Don't even say nothing. Don't
Listen,
even
I
get.
get
You gave enough of a hint. I think
I
I
get
got it,
enough
so I'm gonna just
trouble.
keep it.
I get enough trouble with Quantize Records just being who I am. I'm always getting a phone
Ah,
call. Like
ah, hold
I
up,
know you. I
hold up.
know you say such and such. I'm like,
I gotta
I
stop you right there, bro, because
you can't be beefing with people on Facebook. I'm like, all right.
I gotta stop you. Hey, shout out to Centra and Shalonda checking in. So I gotta stop you right there, bro, because you know when I first when Extreme House Nation really when you guys first started coming up to the Baltimore Flavor Radio Show at WPP, um, and then when I actually became a part of the collective and we were doing the day parties and all of that kind of stuff, um, I kind of from the outside in, and I forgot who else I talked to about this on the show, but from the outside kind of looking in, I started to kind of recognize the political side of house music in Baltimore, so to speak. And
Yeah,
I think the one reason that I gravitated to you so much because you were so outside of the box of a lot of the stuff that you know what I'm saying. Like we would
right.
have our various day parties or we would just be at an event in general, and like your whole attack on house music was just different than what everybody else was doing, and
Right.
my favorite song. I wish I should go and pull it up because I know I got it on his laptop. That's you don't know which is still my favorite joint. Um, has it been kind of hard for you just to navigate? Because like again, you're so outside of the box, so to speak. You're like the Dennis Rodman. To kind of throw an example out there. You're like the Dennis Rodman of house music. Has that been kind of hard for you to navigate? I mean, because obviously you're still able to build great relationships, but did you feel like that's affected you in any kind of way?
Um, it has. Um, let me just say this, right? So house music is the kissing cousin of hip hop. Um, if you were around in the early days of um, hip hop and house music, um, you'll know that they came up together. Of course, hip hop started in New York, house started in Chicago, but their growth and their birth was around the same time. And both of them were musical scenes that were born out of the struggle of life in urban areas. It's just that, hip hop in New York started, one way, and house out of Chicago started a different way. but they both are products of urban youth trying to find a way out of the nothingness that they have surrounding them, right? So, with that being said, if we look at hip hop, let me just start with that because that's easier for us to map. Um, in different regions, New York, Atlanta, Miami, LA, Houston, hip hop took on different forms, right? It was all rap, all hip hop, but everybody put their own little spin on it.
Right.
And the same thing is true of house music. House music in different regions means different things to different people. Here in Baltimore, um, house music has a kind of neo soul vibe to it. That's what's big here, that neo soul vocals over top of the constant 4/4 kick that kind of identifies house music. Whereas myself, being a product of both hip hop and house, I tend to incorporate the two. As Twan could say, one of his favorite records, is house, but it doesn't have that steady. I mean, it has it, but I say I incorporate a lot of syncopated percussion and snare breaks in my stuff to give it a kind of more hip hoppy sound. And it just so happens that that particular sound is not a sound that goes over well here in Baltimore. And it took me a while to just understand that. You know what I'm saying? I can admit um, there was a time where I took it personal. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I thought it was a personal attack on Kasper Burnstein, as in,
Wow.
y'all don't act with me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It took me a while to just kind of realize um, that it's not necessarily that. It's just that my audience was not necessarily this audience here in Baltimore. And as you can see, as I started to get out of my own way, because a lot of us as artists, we tend to get in our own way at times. And as I started to get out of my own way, let the music speak for itself, network, Hollywood people, I started to slowly but surely find my audience. And it just so happens that my audience may not necessarily be here in Baltimore City. And that's okay. That's okay. I get love here from the people that I get love from. Um, but if my audience happens to be somewhere else, then that's something that I can accept. And you have to go where the people are that want to hear you. So that's what I'm starting to do. You know, if that makes any sense.
That's
That's
actually
super dope.
that's actually
That
a message. Yeah.
Yes, that is
Man, Mark.
definitely a message. That's something
Right.
that I've always lived by though. Like especially even in business, not just music, but even in business, like when you when you create something and it doesn't pop where you are, but it pops somewhere else. Go follow that somewhere else.
Right, right.
Like go follow it, go after it because that somewhere else is going to lead to something bigger.
Mm, mm. That's interesting. And hold
It's
on,
fun. But, like I said, there was a time where I was Bob. I was Bob. I'm like, yo, I'm here busting my ass doing this music and nobody appreciate. Like, even still, there was cats, that when I gave my parties, I would put on. They wasn't doing, and I ain't gonna say no names or whatever, but it's a lot of cats here. When I started doing parties, or even when we was doing Extreme House Nation, oh, Kaz, let me get on, let me do this, let me do that. I'm always an ambassador. You know what I'm saying? But
mm,
then we got your platform. Why I get a phone call? why you not returning the favor? And I took
Exactly.
personally. And it just took me a while to just kind of realize that, hey, you know, it is what it is. Find your audience or let your audience find
Find
you.
you.
And when they find you, just make sure that you're ready, you know, to go out there and give them the business. So, that's what I've been trying to do. And that's what I'm going to continue to do until, I can't do it anymore. Yeah.
Maurice said that's
So
that Baltimore love.
he said that's that Baltimore love, or the
uh,
lack, or the lack
the
thereof,
lack of, right.
the lack
Jeez.
thereof. And you know what? That's fine. It is what it's
Mm.
gonna be. I'm not even gonna get into that
I was about
because
to say, please, can we not go there?
that will take the show in an entirely different direction. But Cass,
Mm.
I wanna talk a little bit, man, about the history of how you got into DJing, and I can't have you on the show and not send some love and say rest in peace to our boy Vicious V.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Rest in peace,
Um,
man.
did he just have a birthday not too long ago? What?
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Like right around the time you were going or packing for Japan, I think you said something about that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Rest in peace to that dude, man. But just give us a little bit of history, man, of and I want to make this point perfectly clear. We're not going to put you in the hole and call you a house music DJ. You're a DJ and you're a producer, and I've heard you rock other genres. It's just that your heart and soul, is where house music. But he definitely does his thing when he. In fact, it actually shocked me the first time that I heard him do something else other than house music, because up until that point, that's all I knew you for. But talk a little bit, man, about your history and how you started DJing and everything.
Well, if I go all the way back, you know, to when I was a teenager, before I actually felt that I was a DJ or called myself a DJ, when I think about it, I was actually a DJ because I used to DJ all of my parents' and uncles' house parties. I was
You was the
that
family DJ.
yeah, I was the nephew that knew all the cool music. And so whenever they was getting ready to have a little party, they would come to me, and I was little Isaac, because my father was big Isaac. Little Isaac, go to the record store with me. We need to pick out. They would have me pick out the music, and then they would have me, be there with the record player, and I would be putting on the records for them, right? So around the time that I was 17, um, they decided to have this big kind of like New Year's party. My uncle had went and got a mixer from Radio Shack, and they had two turntables because this was around the time that disco was big, whatever, right? So they got the Radio Shack mixer, two turntables. They put me in a back bedroom, and I was for the first time. That was the first time I actually was playing records off of two turntables. I still don't know anything about necessarily quote unquote DJing or mixing or anything. I just knew that if you had a fader to the left, it controlled the turntable to the left, and if you put it to the right, it controlled the turntable to the right. Right. So 12th grade, and I'm giving y'all the long history, but then I'm gonna speed it up. I just want to give y'all the background, right? So 12th grade, I'm in shop class. I went to Maryville. Uh, a homeboy in my class had a mixtape. We rapped about it, and so we get to talking about it, and he told me that his big brother is a DJ and that he DJed. So after school, I start going to his crib, and he starts teaching me how to DJ. I graduate from high school. My grandpops gives me some graduation money. I take that graduation money, go downtown, buy two turntables and a mixer, and I became a DJ at that point. I'm practicing every day through the summer. I got speakers out my back window. We lived on the bottom floor, I'm on the bottom floor. I'm practicing my beat juggling routines and stuff like that. I got a crowd of people, crowd of girls outside my back window. They shouting out my name. They dancing. Everybody going crazy. It's pandemonium out in Cherrydale Apartments out in Cherry Hill, right? So fast forward, I go into the army. Um, I'm stationed over in Germany. I'm DJing at the NCO clubs over there in Germany. But I bring that up because it was in Germany while I was in the army that I got into music production. Um, I had got a drum machine for Christmas, and I was tapping out beats on it or whatever have you. And it was a dude in my unit from New York, and he rapped, and it was a talent show coming up, and he needed some music for the talent show.
Mm.
So asked me could I make a beat for him, and I had never made a beat for nobody before. I used to just make beats to go along with my mixing. Um, so I made him a beat, and we decided that we was going to use a portion of I mean, it's like it was yesterday. So it was the Isley Brothers Summer Breeze, that part with the guitar. So that was going to be the hook. And the name of the song is crazy. It sounds crazy now, but back then it was slick. It was called Gear for the Swell Up. And so, I put a beat together. We got on stage. He would rap, and then during the hook, I was back spinning that little break part right there. And so that was the beginning of my production, which, if you paying attention, I started production in hip hop, not house.
Yeah.
Um, and actually, once that happened, I kind of abandoned house for years. Um, I was all about hip hop production, and I was dealing strictly with hip hop production, all the way up until I would say 2010. Um, and the reason for the switchover was, well, you know what? I still wasn't on house yet. I had abandoned house and I had abandoned DJing. All I cared about was the production side, right? So around 2010, I got disillusioned with hip hop. It was getting weak to me. I had some artists that I was working with. I didn't feel as though they was putting in the effort that I was putting in, and I was like, I'll go back to DJ. And I remember like yesterday, I went to V, right? And I went to V, and I'm like, Yo, V, I'm gonna start DJing, right? And V didn't know that I had ever DJed before, right? He's like, you know how to DJ? I'm like, yeah, I know how to DJ. He's like, you gonna stop making beats? I'm like, no, I ain't gonna stop making beats, but I'm gonna slide back into DJing. So, of course, V being my man, he got me, whatever. So, V he hooked me up with some turntables, and he started to plug me in to promoters around the city. I was opening up for a lot of cats, Big L, DJ Rico, Be Easy. I was at Chibo's. I was a couple of big parties that was downtown on the water. Um, but at that time, it was still hip hop. I still wasn't fooling with house yet. It wasn't until a friend of mine um, came to me about DJing a happy hour at Club 347 on Friday. And it just so happened that that happy hour led into Biscuit's legendary Friday night party at 347. And of course, that was a house music night. And, I would stick around and, I would check out the scene, and it brought back my enthusiasm and my love for house. and I started incorporating house into my happy hour scene.
Mm.
And a few of the house music DJs who would come down for the early show for Biscuit, they would hear, because what I was doing, I started playing house towards the end to make it a smoother transition
Right.
into Biscuit's party, because some of his crowd would come to show up. So I was like, all right, cool. I know I'm gonna work this. I'm gonna start playing house to give Biscuit a smooth transition. And those DJs would come up to me like, yo, I ain't seen you. What's your name? Yada yada yada, blah blah blah. And but the thing was, Twan, getting back to what you said, right? As I listened to the type of house that was going on at that time, in my heart, I was like, yeah, I think it's a house, but this ain't my type of house. So that's when I started to incorporate my production into making house music. And like I said, that was around 2011, probably. And it's been a whirlwind ride since then. Um, a lot of grinding, a lot of hard work, a lot of learning. I had to unlearn a lot of things from hip hop production, to house production, and that isn't always as easy as it might seem. Because the emphasis is on different things.
Mm-hmm.
So I've gotten to a point now where I really think that I found um, a happy medium, and it started to translate universally. Um, so we're gonna see what happens in the next year or two. Like I said, I'm starting off this latter part of 2022 into 23 with some big moments. So I'm just trying to parlay that and just try to keep the momentum going.
Yeah. As you were as you were sitting here talking about V, man, it took me back a little bit to uh the Collective Minds joint that you opened. I want to say is the first year that they moved to Bali, and I think V was responsible for the sound. And I remember when you was up, I remember when you was down, when you was up on the stage doing your thing. I was standing in the middle. I remember they had a stack of a stack of speakers right down on the ground, where like right near the area where we were dancing at. And I said something. I can't remember what I said. Something to V. And V was like, man, F the rest of these dudes. I'm just trying to make sure my man Cass sound good. Like, F the rest of these dudes. Man.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something though, right? And I love V to death, right?
Yeah.
But V had a lot to do with the reason why the house music community wouldn't accept me at the time, because they were scared of V. Everybody was scared of V, and I had to tell V, I'm like, yo, this what I need you to pull back a little bit. I say,
But,
because they scared of you, and
yeah.
because they scared of you, they scared of me.
Yeah. You asking V to not be V, which is really hard.
Exactly. It like I said, it because you speaking that collective mind, right? So what you probably don't know is that 2 years prior to that, I was almost banned from collective mind, um, because me and V felt like I should have been on the lineup.
Mm.
And I didn't get on the line. I wasn't put on the lineup. And, I was still pretty much a hothead at that time. And of course, V, he was like a loaded. And so I said a lot of things. B said a lot of things. Some people got pulled up and stuff like that. I mean, because I was still in hip hop mode at that time. I was still in Cherry Hill mode,
Right.
and you know, and when you in hip hop mode and you in Cherry Hill mode, if you feel like you being dissed, you gotta address it. And I didn't at the time, like you mentioned politics earlier. At the time, I just wasn't familiar with the politics
Yeah.
of house music and how to navigate it. And I was like, oh, this how y'all moving? All right, well, check this out. And it's a learning curve.
And you know what, Cass? I hate to use that word because when you use the word politics, it kind of puts a stigma on stuff. But the more stuff that I heard, and like I said, I was always the outsider listening in. And outside of Extreme House Nation, there was maybe only one or two other like house collectives, factions that was doing stuff.
Yeah,
And
but like even when you talk about extreme house, right? I remember when T Money and Dwayne and all of them first approached me and like, yo, you want to join our crew or whatever. And when I had, before I had gave them a decision, when I had talked to other DJs around the city about it, everybody said don't do it. Everybody said don't do it. They was like they a bunch of nobodies, this, that, and the other, yada yada yada. So you know what I said? I was like, watch this. I was like, watch this. So I told her, I'm like, yeah, 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 I'm down. And I'm not going. You could ask T Money, you could ask Dwayne, you could ask any of them. Like when I came in, I brought some energy to the collective, and and along with me came Vicious B and his sound system. Um, so we took those Saturday day parties to another level,
yeah,
and next thing you know, boom, Extreme House Nation parties was what was happening.
yeah,
And it kind of like everybody like from the outside looking in was like, yo, what happened? And Extreme House Nation became a force to be reckoned with, um, in the city. And you couldn't laugh at them no more. And then, when Sal came into the fold, um, that just took it to another level because everybody loves Sal. It's like it's crazy. Me and Sal, we're both from Cherry Hill, and it's like if we were brothers, it's like Sal is the brother everybody hates, and I'm the brother Sal is the brother everybody loves,
that's right.
and I'm the brother that they hate. But we both bang. We both do our thing. But yeah, everybody loves Sal. Um, so when Sal came into the fold, um, it just
Game
took
over.
a
Game over.
total. It was
Game
yeah,
over.
whole another level.
Game over.
And
That makes me think about the Christmas party that we did at the spot on Randallstown. When
right,
we
right,
when we had
right.
blue and red on that night, and I got that legendary picture of you and Cell side by side, yo. That's like,
Exactly, exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
So that was a beautiful time. Um, I just wish we could get the Extreme House Nation reunion together. We keep talking about it,
yeah.
but for whatever reason, we can't get it off the ground. We're gonna do it eventually. I just think everybody just needs to come together and just decide that they really want to do it, and stop bickering about petty stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever the petty stuff is, leave it to the side. Let's make the reunion happen.
Exactly. It's got to be bigger than the individual. You know what I mean? And
Right.
and,
Right.
and speaking of which, rest in peace to my man Brian Covington. I love that dude, man. That was a hard
Yeah.
time. And, him and my girl, what was the star tender down at the Place Lounge?
Right. Yeah.
So rest in peace to her too, man. Amazing people. Before we go any further, shout out to my sister Alenia. Thank you for tuning in, sis. I know you home. I know you're a little bit under the weather. Stacy came and held it down for you. And I got to give a shout out to my man Natty. He's tuning in, man. He says that he wants to connect with you. He said, first of all, you're telling your age, talking about the Radio Shack stuff from back in the day. But
I know, but I'm still pretty though.
yeah, and also he said that he wants to link up with you because he has some artists that's looking for house instrumentals. So
Oh,
I'll definitely. I don't know if
okay.
each other, but if not, I'll definitely connect y'all and
Yeah.
make that,
All right, that'll work.
yeah, no doubt. So I want to talk a little bit, man, and I don't know how much of this you can put out, man, but what's the deal with you and my boy Richard, man, Richard Burton? I know that y'all were heavy into some stuff at one point.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we still me, Rich, and Fruity. Um, we did the Miss You record last year. And that did good. They performed that over in London. Um, Rich has been kind of under the weather right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we haven't really been in the studio. But actually, we had started. Me, Richard, and Fruity had started working on like an R&B project, R&R. Um, no house, all R&B stuff, R&B tracks, soul singing and stuff like that. Um, so I got a couple of records in the stash um, on that. There's supposed to be a whole album though. So I guess at some point we're going to get back to that.
Yeah.
Soon as me, Ham, and Fruity get together. Rich is busy, Fruity's busy. Fruity is real big with the church, and they tour and all that stuff. So sometimes it's kind of hard coordinating everybody's schedule and everything like that. But yeah, Rich is my man. Fruity's my guy.
Hey,
Um,
Rock.
actually, I got a record with Rich. Um, and I played it at a couple of parties. That's how I played it when I was in Japan. It's a club record. A joint mean too. Um, I ain't gonna say a whole lot about it because
I
it's,
always know Richard, man,
it's
because
some controversy. There's some controversy surrounding the record. But what I will say is this, right? So there's an old club record, right? Um, Richard came to me and he was like, I wrote that record, right? I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, I wrote that record and they stole it from me. I was like, get the fuck out of here, right? So I was like, let's redo it, right? So we redid a version of it. Um, and it's on the background. It's going to be a lot of politics behind that releasing it, if it ever. Um, but it's dope though. It's dope. It's dope. So I'm just saying that me and Richard, me and Richard, we got about 10 records on stash right now. Tommy keep telling me, I think we might be getting ready to move forward with finishing up one of them to release this spring. Um, that boy Richard, that boy can sing. Um, I got some incredible records. Hard draw with Richard. When that man, when he get to Teddy P mode or Barry White mode,
just get ready to talk about that, bro. I was just getting ready to talk about. Yo, he sang. We did his birthday party. Um, at the little spot. I can't remember what the name of it was. It was a sports bar and lounge down in like the Curtis Bay area. We did
uh,
his party down there. I was still a part of Baltimore Flavor Radio, and he asked us to host it because We had just had him on the show like the month before. And bro, I swear, if you closed your eyes,
Yeah.
you Teddy Pendergrass was standing there singing, bro. When
He if you go on Track Source, a lot of his biggest records is him doing remakes of Teddy P. He channels that Teddy P. I got a record where he redoing Barry White too.
Oh, that's my daddy.
Crazy. Crazy.
Hey yo, she been on mute for 15 minutes. When you said Barry White, she had to come off and say, "That's my
No,
dad."
I realized that I was on mute talking. I was like, oh, he do to turn him off, Teddy P too. Like, wait a
Yeah.
minute.
So that incredible. I'm gonna tell you who else he liked too. The Stylistics.
Oh, come on now.
He be doing that falsetto.
Yeah.
Like we got so we did a house version of Hurry Up This Way Again. And I think that what he was saying to me the last time we talked about it is that so the original singer of the Stylistics, I think, has passed away. Or he left or something like that. But he knew the guy that replaced him in the Stylistics. And he was going to get him to come in and do some real high parts. Because even though he can do it, that's really not in his range.
Right.
And if we want to make the record right, we was going to get Yoda to come in and kind of do some parts with him. But saying all that to say, that boy can sing. That's all I'm saying.
I remember, and shout out to DJ Slice. He's checking into the show.
Good.
I remember Richard, man, from back in 1984, our first year at Walbrook. And I remember walking in, and like in our main foyer, you had the main office, and then you had another office, and then you had a display case. And they had his very first single up in the display case, man. And you would have thought, we had Michael Jackson going to the school. You know what I'm saying? With the pomp and circumstance that surrounded him, and that was right around the time that Muhammad Ali and the guy Ernest Thomas that played Roger on What's Happening into Walbrook. And a lot of people didn't know that story about him actually being signed to Muhammad Ali's record label. And I told people, when I used to tell people about that, they used to think I was like, man, you ain't never met Muhammad Ali, ain't know about Muhammad Ali. Richard had to come on the show and verify this story, man. But it's just to see, the climb that he's made since those days, man, is absolutely incredible. And more than anything else, he's a genuinely good ass dude. You know what I mean? Like a really good, solid brother, man.
Good people, incredible singer, incredible actor, an activist in the community, a lot of things.
Yeah. He just made a bad decision taking notes at a drug conspiracy meeting on the wire. One of those episodes, the Stringer Bell looked at him and was like, yo, what are you doing? This is a drug meeting. You okay taking trying to follow the Roberts rules in a drug meeting. But yeah, shout out to Richard, man. So I know you already said that you got some stuff that you can't touch on, man, but is there anything that you can talk about, that you have coming up in the next, let's say the next 3 or 4 months that you might want to, put out there?
Well, of course, let me think. What me and Sync Mafia got going on? So, I think this winter sampler quantize. So every twice a year, quantize, unquantized put out these like compilations. So we're gonna have something on that, but that's gonna be a Sync Mafia. One of the things that I'm gonna do this year is get back to just releasing stuff under just Kasper Burnstein, because Sync Mafia is kind of like this one thing, because it's a collaborative between me and Tommy Davis. Um, and it's most of that stuff is coming out on Quantized or Unquantized, which is two labels that him and DJ Spin run. Um, the music kind of falls into like this one little lane, which is kind of guided um, by the type of music that they want to release on their label. But as Casper Burnstein, um, my musical tastes are kind of more diverse. Um, and so, some people know, some people don't know. I have my own label, distribution, all of that. I got music right now under Casper Bernstein that was released under my label. That's on Spotify, Tidal, Amazon Music, Apple, and all of that. But I kind of got away from that. And I'm going to tell you a little story. So I don't know if Boss Lady know, but Twan, a couple years ago at Sync Mafia, we released a record called Bang, right? And Bang was a huge record, um, played by a lot of the top DJs around the world. That's actually what got the attention of the people over in Japan that ended up having me come over to Japan. Bang was number 3 on the charts. Louis Vega was playing it. David Morales was playing it. It was a big record, right? What a lot of people didn't know about that record, though, is that 6 years prior to the release of that record, I had released it the first time on my label to Cricket. Nobody bought it. Fast forward 6 years down the line, me and Tommy decided that we're going to form a group. So, we're going through my hard drive, letting Tommy listen to records that I got. Come across this record called Bang. Like I said, I had already released this record. I played it, and I was getting ready to move to the next record. I was like, oh, this record is a dud. Tommy heard it and was like, yo, what's that? And so my response to him, this bullshit I had on my hard drive for like 5 years. He was like, give me that.
Wow.
A week later, they skipped. So Quantize their whole machine, Unquantize their machine. They have a release schedule and everything. They preempted their whole release schedule to release this record back. So by the time I gave it to them, a week later, it was out. And like I said, it shot to number 3 on the charts. And that opened my eyes up to something. Is that it wasn't the record that was a dud. It was the issue was I didn't have the machine behind the record to push it the way it needed to be pushed. So it was the same record. Nothing had changed. Same record I had released on my label, but when we released it on Quantize, who had the big name of DJ Span, Tommy Davis behind it, that went to number 3. So I'm saying that to say that I'm going to get back to releasing records under my label, under my name, and in talking to other people in the industry or whatever have you. I just have to be consistent with the releases in order to build my label up to have the same type of push behind it.
You want to be able to push that have a Quantize is basically, yeah.
Right, exactly. I mean, and now my name has a little bit bigger ring to it, so that'll help also. But with that being said, I got mad tracks. I can't even sit here and begin to say what tracks I'm going to release, other than the fact that I got mad music that I'm releasing this year. Even your favorite record, I'm going to re-release that because I actually got 2, 3 different versions of that record.
Yeah, I
The
just noticed. I
the
just
versions that
I
the
just
versions that
learned
you
that
like,
yesterday. I
huh?
just I just learned that yesterday that you got a couple of different versions of that song.
Yeah, I got 2, 3 different versions. I say so. The mix that you like is a stripped down mix. It's just like that one sample in the one part, and then the beat kicks in. But I got another version where I play more of the sample, that's kind of like similar to the way Hove used it. Um, in his rap version of it. And then I have another version of it where I had the sample, no kick drum, and just all percussion. And instead of having a kick drum, um, I had like a low tom in it and just percussion. And that's that's you gonna like that too.
Stacy's eyes lit up when you said that.
I did. It did. Like, oh my gosh. Ooh.
Stacy's.
And
Well,
you know
look.
what? I don't know if y'all know this. So something new that I'm excited about. So just this record that I just did. When we do that Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. So Twan, you know the cat Yuri?
I don't think
A
so.
different Yuri? You say
No,
you don't.
not, that's not a
So
woman. Is that? That's
huh?
not the. That's not the girl DJ that came to
Nah,
do.
this a
Okay.
guy.
No, I don't know who
So
that is.
it's a it's a guy. Yuri is the guy that I started seeing at a lot of parties. Real flamboyant, um, great dancer, somebody, a character. You know what I'm saying? Somebody you see him, you want to be like, who is that? You know what I'm saying? So he had hit me up, and he was like, matter of fact, he did a track with Biblical recently.
Mm.
Um, so he had hit me up, said he wanted to do some stuff. So I'm like, all right, cool. Come through the studio, right? So it just so happened that I was working on a song that I'm not gonna say I'm rapping on it, but I'm rapping on it. But it's house, so it's kind of like hip house.
Gotcha.
And I had some parts in there where it was kind of empty, and I was thinking of what to do with those little passages. And I said, let me call this dude up, see if he could do something. So I had him come through, and he laid down some stuff, and it's really tough. I think I'm gonna try to release that next month. Um, Once again, that's a record that I had sitting around. Um, I gave it to Tommy and Spen years ago, but they wanted me to change the hook because the hook had a curse word. I didn't say it's not even a curse word to me, but it had the name of the record is Damn, right? Damn. Um, One thing you may probably don't know, anything you release on Quantize or unquantized can't have any profanity.
Okay.
I changed that artistically. I didn't want to change it, so therefore I just let the record sit. Um, Coming back from Japan, um, I was inspired to re-record the vocals on it, update it, make it more pertinent to my trip. Um, so that's what I did, and then I called the cat Yuri, brought him in, put him on it. Um, I think the record is hot. I'm gonna release it under my label next month. Um, so that's one of the more immediate things that I can think of that's gonna be happening in the immediate future. In addition to, like I said, the stuff it's gonna be under Sync Mafia that's coming out on Quantize and Unquantized. Um, the Brazil trip, like I said, still in the early stages, but I think that's going to jump off. Japan in about 6 months. I'm at a new studio. Um,
Talk
so
about that.
I got a new studio location in this spot. In this building, it's called the Dream Factory. It's off of Reisterstown Road. There's a lot of different studios in here. Y'all probably can't hear. It's a band practicing downstairs right now. Gary Groove's up in here. Um, Brick Washington owns it. If you don't know who Brick is, his father used to own Rhythm Skate. Um,
Oh, yeah.
and he just recently passed away. Me and Brick grew up on Cherry Hill. Um, I don't know Nina. Nina was doing her show through here a couple of times. Um, Real nice spot. Was you here for New Year's, Twan?
Nope.
Okay, I can't remember. I couldn't remember if I saw you here for New Year's. We had a New Year's party here. Um, but yeah, I got a studio location here.
And where's it located again?
It's called the Grain Factory. It's at 4226 Amos Avenue. At Amos Avenue. It's a big building. It's not just music. We got a building. I mean, a room downstairs that's for like video. Um, had the green screen. Um, they just got the light wall put in there. So they got this, huge light wall in there. Um, yeah, it's an incredible building.
Sound like one-stop shop.
Yeah. One stop, like for video and audio. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come check that out.
So you gotta check that out, sir. For sure.
Gotta check that out.
Yeah. And Twan, Kay Swiss, her husband, he got his radio station up here.
Okay. Nice.
So
nice.
So people be coming through doing podcasts down there and stuff. So yeah. It's I mean, it's still in the infancy. My man Rick, he's building out a huge studio down at the other end where he's gonna have a big SSL board and all of that. So, like I said, he's still working on that. That isn't built out yet. I got my little production studio here. Lance has a radio station. There's a couple of guys in here to do photography and video. They got the big video room downstairs with the green screen and the light wall. Fans coming to practice all the time.
Hey, sis, we got a group.
Gary Groove got a room in here. If you don't know who Gary Groove, back in the 90s and early 2000s, he used to do a lot of work. He went to Morgan. Used to do a lot of work with JD and them down in Atlanta. He played on Monica's album. He played bass. So he played on Monica's album. He played on TLC's album. Monifa played on her album. So he used to tour with a lot of people playing bass, a gigging, touring musician. So yeah, he got a room downstairs. A lot of bands come through. I think Drew Hill was through here. What's the Rough? It's not Rough Ends. What's the other cast that's from here? The two guys that had the song. They did the video up Mondon. Someone shot and squeezed and all that.
Yeah, you said it right, Rough Ends.
That's Rough Ends.
Yeah. So Rough Ends been through here. Mustard with Gary. Yeah, so it's a nice building, a lot going on in here. I'm happy to be in this little situation where I'm at right now.
That's what's up. Hey, my man DJ Slice said he needs a remix of the Cherry Hill Anthem. I don't know. I think that's the ones you need to leave alone.
But you know what though, Twan? I already got a remix to Cherry Hill Anthem. I just ain't never put it out.
Wow. Okay. You can slide that to me. I'll let you know what I think. For sure.
All right.
Definitely,
and a lot of that old stuff like Cherry Hill Anthem and all that, I'm gonna go back. I mean, because one thing, you if you do this long enough, um, and if you're doing it right, and if you're doing what you're supposed to do, you you improve your craft.
Mhm.
You learn things and stuff like that. Cherry Hill Anthem was like one of the first house records that I made, and what I know now about mixing and mastering, I'm gonna go back and retouch a lot of those early productions that I did, and I'm gonna re-release them. Cherry Hill Anthem came out on Speedy's label, um, Face to Base Record. Um, the title of my EP was Twerk House. Um,
Yeah.
drove the house community crazy because I had took house and incorporated with twerking, and I actually had a female on the front cover twerking. They didn't like that at all.
Yeah. I was thinking back. I was thinking back.
Yeah,
Already
they
know.
ain't. You know what's crazy? I'm gonna say one more thing. In the beginning, when I was doing all of that work house and trying to incorporate hip hop and house, everybody was all up and off, and I was bastardizing house music, right? And now it's everywhere. Every time you turn around, somebody picking a rap record and making a house music version out of it, and they embrace it. And so I just kind of think chalk it up to like I was ahead of my time or whatever. Um, but it's just amazing to see how a lot of the things that I was trying to do 10 years ago, um, you know, and they was like, that's not how, that's not what we do, yada yada yada. Fast forward 10 years later, that's what's in style now. Making these uh, R&B mashup remixes, hip hop mashup remixes. Um, but yeah, I mean it's a good thing, but um, it's just funny how things turn around.
You know what? The dope thing, Cass, is that despite that resistance, you've always stayed true to yourself. You know what I mean? You've never tried to like water your stuff down to try to make it fit in. You know what I'm saying? You've continued to do what you do, and you've made them now come, and be on your vibe. So, hey,
Right?
yeah, that's what we do, man. That's what we do, bro. Hey,
Yeah, yeah,
man, I know we had Slice on here, bro, and I'm gonna say this, man, because I'm a true believer that somehow, some way, that Extreme House Nation situation has to come back to fruition, man. So whatever it is that I can do on this end, man, um, I'm there, bro. Like I'm there, promoting, and you know, we can have a big ass reunion right here on the show and talk it out if we got to. You know what I'm saying?
that, that keep up. Yeah, put that together, y'all.
Whatever it is that needs to be done already.
Put that together. Put that together.
Yeah. You let
All
me
right.
know.
The thing is, I think all of the DJs are with it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Me, Sal, Slice, even
Slice.
Dwayne. How, would you say?
Nah,
Would you say?
I'm just saying, DJ Slice just put up 100. Like he's with it.
Yeah, all the DJs with it. I think and like I said, I'm gonna say it, and I could be wrong, but I think the problem is, and Dwayne notwithstanding, right? But the problem is, or I think the hurdle is the non DJ. Um, and I'm gonna just say, I think that there is some resistance um, from non DJs that are part of the collective aren't wanting to be a part of it, or I think for that part we really should have the meeting because Dwayne could probably talk a little bit more about that part. But as far as the DJs, we're all with it. We're all with it. Um, and we even was thinking about doing it and just not using the Extreme House Nation name.
Yeah.
But if you do that, I think that kind of takes away from it being a reunion at that point.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll see.
I'm one of the non DJs and I'm down with it, man. So like I said, whatever it is that we gotta do to make that happen. Shout out to my man Peter. Thank you for tuning.
I'm being politically correct. I think it's only one. It's only one non DJ that's like the hurdle, but I'm being politically correct.
I got you. Say less. Say less. Say less. Whatever it is that we gotta do, man. Let's 2023 summertime will be a nice little time to bring that back, man. So let's work on it, man. And like I said, if I gotta bring it to Access Granted to make it happen, then we're gonna bring it up here and make it happen, man. I can fit about 10 people up here, so
Yeah, let's do that. I mean, and to be honest, we've had like two powwows with all the DJs got together. Me, Sal, T Money, Slice, and what's my man name? Um, Ask Slice was what's my guy name? I always forget your name until I see him face to face.
Markel.
Yeah, Markel. Yeah.
Now you said Markel was the baddest opening house DJ for you back in the day.
I'm telling you, because Markel revels in being an opening DJ.
Set that tone.
Like Markel don't want to be the closer. Markel don't want to be the guy that gets everybody on the dance floor. Markel wants to open. And that's, most DJs want to be the guy. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to be the opening DJ. They don't want to be the DJ when the crowd is coming in. They want to be the DJ when the spot is filled up and they can get the most limelight. Myself included. I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you. But Markel, he embraces being an opening DJ, and he knows exactly what to do to open. He sets a mood. He sets a tone. The tempo is, when you open it up, you don't want to have necessarily the bang 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 bang, because like it ain't nobody there anyway half the time. That's why I always say Markel, he's the greatest opening DJ in Baltimore City.
Yeah, Markel is the praise and worship team at church, bro. It's just his job to set the atmosphere.
Right. Exactly.
And then the choir and the reverend, the pastor, they come in and do what they got to do. But the praise and worship team, they set the atmosphere. I get it totally, bro. So yeah, let's see what we can do, bro. Let's definitely see what we can do. We gotta get our man Stan Slide up in there because I gotta see him do his same dance that he's been doing for 30 years that I've known Stan. Shout out to my man Slide. Hey, bro. It's been an honor, man. It's been a pleasure. This has been fun, man. I'm definitely.
Thanks for having me on, man. Thank you.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. I've been making it a point, especially since last year, man, to make sure that I really show some love to the DJs in Baltimore, man. And I'm hitting on a lot of different factions of DJs. I've had Booby up here. I had Damon Ramsey a little bit, towards the end of last year. And I'm just trying to make sure, man, because like, for me, growing up in Baltimore, man, and being in a lot of different scenes, man, the DJs have always been like you know what I mean? So I got to make sure that I pay homage, man. I'll tell anybody in another city, man, I'll take 10 of my favorite DJs from Baltimore and I'll bring them to your city and we'll shut y'all down. I don't care where y'all at.
Baltimore has some of the. I ain't gonna say. I mean, there's great DJs all over, but
Yeah, yeah,
Baltimore City, we definitely can hold our own
absolutely.
uh, as far as DJs concerned. Anywhere,
Anyway,
anywhere,
any
anywhere. But you mentioned Damon Ramsey. I want to say shout out to Damon Ramsey. Funny thing, and then you can close out or whatever have you. So you know how I was talking about in the beginning. I didn't understand, um, the politics or whatever have you. Um, and even though I had been around house since the inception of house, um, the Baltimore house scene didn't really know me because for most of that period, I kind of like I lived abroad.
right.
I was in Germany. I lived down south, and then even when I came back to Baltimore, I was more involved in hip hop than house. So when I finally came back around to house, they considered me a newbie, even though certain people knew who I was. Like Tommy knew who I was. Um, you know, Neil Conway knew who I was because I used to buy records from them when I was a kid. Um, but speaking of Damon, um, behind the scenes, me and Damon used to have these epic battles. Um, just battles of personality. And for a while there, we used to be at each other's throat. Uh, there was a situation where, you know, B had vowed to come to collective minds and do, what B does, right? Um, since then, though, me and Damon Ramsey have become um, very close. Actually, to the point where last year we was about to roll up on somebody together. So it just shows you like how how things have switched from us being rivals to us actually about to roll. We was about to go down on somebody together because he had a beef or he thought somebody had a beef with him. So I'm like, yo, what you want to do? Let's go handle this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I always use that as like, yo, it's not where you start,
Yeah, it's
it's where you end up. And it's crazy, like that's how a lot of we all grew up in an era where like your best friend could start out as somebody that you fought. A cat you ain't like, you fought them, y'all fought, y'all had a fair one. Next thing you know, y'all best buds for life. And that's kind of like how me and Damon, we used to be at each other's throats. And now, what I'm saying, I consider him at least one of my closest DJ friends. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And his grew up on Cherry Hill. So that gave him a lot of credit right there. I knew his wife Adrian from out the way. Um, so I was like, yo, his wife from Cherry Hill, he can't be so bad. You know what I'm saying?
I thought she was gonna say y'all had something y'all was getting ready to drop together, bro. I didn't know y'all was getting ready to roll up on dudes, man.
Oh no, yeah. I ain't gonna say who the dude was, but yeah, we was somewhere and dude was acting kind of funny and Yo was telling me the story about it and he was kind of ticked off by the way the dude was acting. I'm like, yo, let's go do something.
Let's do what we're gonna do. That's
I
that
was
boy.
I was ready to go, but I think Damon he still know how to play the politics better than me.
Yeah,
Um, he rolled up on the dude and I rolled up on the dude with him, but he kind of rolled up on him, just kind of like talking to him. I wanted to go somewhere else with it, but like I said, that's how I stay in trouble because
you wanted the Cherry Hill. He Owens Mills the situation. I got you.
yeah, I stay in trouble. I stay in trouble, or near or almost getting in trouble. So
Hey, that's us, bro. That's you know what I mean. Let everybody know how they can follow the movement, man.
Hey, you can hit me up on I'm gonna get ready. You know what? I'm gonna tell you something about that social media. I'm gonna ready to start transitioning and being more on IG than Facebook, just for this reason. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think that as far as promoting music and stuff like that, IG has given me more bang for the buck. Um, but I'm still on Facebook under Ike Lee. Everywhere else, you can reach me as you can look me up under Kasper Burnstein. I'm Kasper Burnstein on IG. I'm Kasper Bernstein on TikTok. I'm Kasper Bernstein on SoundCloud, Mixcloud, YouTube, any other social media platform. I'm going to be Kasper Bernstein, but on Facebook, I'm Ike Lee.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, bro. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, man. I also want to tell y'all, man, if y'all haven't already, holla at your boy, man, and come get y'all a bottle of this Access Granite Long Island iced tea, the
Oh yeah,
dirty,
I
the
gotta get
dirty
some of that.
version. Shout out to my sister Tipsy Fiend, man. She's the lab worker behind making this happen, man. It's been a beautiful thing so far, bro. That's one of my bucket list things that I've always wanted to do that I finally made happen. And in 2023, man, we got some plans to try to get this thing up in stores, man. So y'all make sure y'all come and support, man. And to that person the day before yesterday that asked me for a discount, I'm gonna put it out there and say, if you don't ask Diddy for a discount on Ciroc, don't ask me for a discount on my joint, bro. I can't do it. Nothing personal. It's business.
Support black business.
Yeah, man. But again, Cass, hey, bro, I appreciate you, man. It's always love, man. Continue doing what you do. If you need me to be your road manager in Brazil, holla at me and let me know. I got time I can take off. As one of the always.
I appreciate you for having me on the show.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace. My man, Kasper Bernstein. Hey, shout out real quick to Stacy Rose. She had to get off a little early, man, to put her daughter to bed. But again, man, I want to say rest in peace to my brother CJ Burney. Again, one of the original members of the Baltimore Flavor Radio crew, man. And I forgot to mention it earlier, but he was actually the creator of the Baltimore Flavor Radio logo. And we flooded the city, man. We sold hundreds of those T-shirts and hoodies back in the day, man. And, you know, even when he and I, you know, had our little falling out, he allowed me for branding purposes to keep that Baltimore Flavor logo, man. And I appreciate that from him. And like I said before, I'm just so appreciative, man, that, you know, we were able to put our little petty stuff aside and, you know, and become friends and, you know, whatever it was. But definitely some sad news that I got today, man, and just my condolences to his family. Again, thoughts and prayers go out to the family of Ricky Smalley. You know, he lost his son yesterday, man, and just throw a prayer up, man, because y'all know we living in a tough time, man. I appreciate everybody that tuned in. Prayerfully, my sister Alenia will be back next week, and let me look at the calendar real quick before I get out of here, man. Gosh, next week is February already, and that's Kasper Bernstein. That's the date. Hold on real quick. Let me switch over. Oh, February the 6th. Oh, my man DJ King Ray will be in the building next week, man. Grammy nominated producer, amazing DJ in his own right, and he's got a lot of things going on, man. So he's going to come up here and chop it up with us next week. You know, Baltimore, put the guns down, man. Let's stop this violence. I appreciate everybody. We love you guys. We'll see you guys next week. This is Access Granted. Peace.